All right. Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining this live new student orientation session, Navigating Food Allergies, Dietary Restrictions on Campus, hosted by the Office of Orientation and Transition Programs, University Media Services, and Dining. My name is James Wright. I am the Assistant Director for Parent and Family Engagement in the Orientation, Transition, and Programs Office, and I'll be assisting with today's session. In this session, our presenters will be providing information about food health and nutrition, and we'll give you the opportunity to ask questions. If you have a question during the session, please type your question into the Q&A boxes, which will be monitored by our staff and others. For this presentation, we will respond to questions via the Q&A box as we are able to. We'll also be prompt with the presenters with your questions during the session. Now we'll turn it over to Debbie and our dining partners to begin today's session. So Debbie, you can take it away.
All righty. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight to talk about managing food allergies and dietary restrictions. As James mentioned, my name is Debbie, and I am the registered dietitian here with Dining Services. My contact information is on the screen, but there will also be, the end screen will also give you an opportunity to jot down my contact information. Next screen. All right, so Dining Services goal for students who have food allergies or dietary restrictions is to provide them with the tools and resources they need to be able to support their dietary restrictions. We have a program already set in place, which I'll review with you tonight as far as tools and resources. We have a great team of managers that can work with you as far as helping you to eat safely while you're dining on campus. I'm typically the main or initial contact person for students, but we do have an allergy captain program that I'll talk about a little bit later on with our managers. And so they receive a lot of training to be able to help students manage their food allergies and restrictions while they're in the dining halls. And then even though we do have a program and tools and resources, we do take into account students' personal dietary needs to help them find foods that fit their life. So if your needs are outside of the realm of our program, we will definitely work with you to make sure that we can meet your needs as well. Next slide. Okay, so our first tool is our True Balance Station. The True Balance Station is designed for guests with food allergies and food intolerances, and it does eliminate the top 9 allergens and gluten from the foods that are being prepared at that station. The station is available at Caesar Rodney Dining Hall, Fresh Food Company, and Penn Cater Dining Hall, open brunch, lunch, and dinner. So you can see the icons on the right-hand side. These are the allergens that we do eliminate at that particular station. Next slide. All right, so some of the safety precautions we take when designing True Balance is that our recipes are especially selected and reviewed by culinary experts. Our equipment and storage is dedicated to the True Balance Station use only. So it's almost like a self-contained kitchen where it has its own stove and grill and smallware, so forth and so on, so that there's minimal or no chance for cross contact. The products that we use, the ingredients that we use exclude the top 9 allergens as listed there, as well as gluten. And the ingredients are specified so that we're not purchasing anything outside of the guidelines for the program. And then the recipes are built on those ingredients. The station is monitored daily and audited on a regular basis to make sure that we're following those guidelines. And our employees, all of our employees receive food allergy training, but the employees that are specified to work at True Balance Station receive additional specialized training for that particular station so that, you know, we're handling everything appropriately to keep everyone safe. Okay, next slide. The other tool that we have, or resource that we have, if you have dietary restrictions outside of the top 9 allergens and or gluten, we do custom meal preparation for students as well. So custom meals are available to, again, accommodate students with additional allergies, intolerances, and other dietary restrictions. We do ask that you submit a medical documentation to receive the custom meals so that we know that we're providing meals specifically for students with medical needs versus students who just want to have specialized foods prepared for them every day. The custom meals are available at Pencader, Russell, and Caesarani Dining Hall. So all three of our dining halls can provide this service to the students on campus. Next slide. So with the custom meal preparation, we do take extra precautions to avoid cross contact for students with food allergies. For students who have a gluten intolerance, that is actually the bottom slide, an additional gluten solution menu is sent out every week. So it includes the True Balance menu, but it also includes a variety of other menu options that are available that are gluten-free. The True Balance station doesn't include things like pizza with cheese and cookies and waffles that might have soy or may have dairy or egg in them. So we add a variety of different options for those students so they can have different options available to them every day. So one of the big reasons to contact me too is so that you're on the email list to receive those menus. And then because True Balance is closed at breakfast, we do ask that, you can do a custom meal request for breakfast. Next slide. So this is the custom meal request form. It's very simple. You would put in your name, your phone number in case we need to contact you, the day of the week that you want your meal and the date, what your diet restrictions are, and then the time that you plan on arriving at the dining hall. We make your meals close to that time as possible so it's fresh and hot. And then the location, if you might want to have breakfast at Pencader, lunch at Caesar Rodney, you can eat at any of the dining halls. We just need to know where you're going to be showing up so we can have your food ready for you. The email addresses for the dining halls are at the bottom of this form, so they're easily accessible. Okay, next slide. So the procedure is also very simple. You would complete the custom meal request form using our online menu or the gluten solution menu. So students with food allergies can look online and select from our online menus of what we're serving that day, and we can make modifications to those menu items and or prepare them in a separate area to make sure there's no cross contact. Students who have gluten restrictions would refer to the gluten solution menu. The menu is then submitted via email to the dining hall of choice. We do ask that you submit it before 6 a.m. on the day you want the meals. Most students do submit them just before they go to bed at night, and we get them at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So we like to receive them in the morning so that we can organize our production for the day. If we need to pull something aside so that it's not marinated, it's not breaded, it doesn't have soy sauce or seasonings added to it that may contain gluten, we want to be able to pull those portions aside first thing in the morning. You would receive a confirmation email when we receive your order so that you know that we have received it. And then when you arrive at the dining location, you would just let a manager know you're there, and you'll get to know them very well, and they will retrieve your meal for you. And then we do ask if you would need to cancel the order for any reason to email us as soon as possible. In the opposite direction, if you have a change of plans where you need a meal and you weren't planning on it the night before, you can send something in after 6 a.m. We would just prefer the majority of the time you send it in before 6 a.m. But if something's sent in after 6, we will do our best to accommodate that and make sure that you have what you need. Next slide. So this is a sample of what our online menu looks like, and it is mobile friendly. The address is at the bottom, udel.edu/dining. So when you first log in and look at the menu, it's going to tell you what we're serving. And this is just an example from one of many stations that we have, the number of calories, and it'll give you a description of what it is that this made it, like the stuffed pepper, zucchini, vegan beef, couscous, etc. So you can kind of look at this. If you have a food allergy, the turkey is not going to contain, any of the top 9 allergens. So that's something that you could put on your menu. We would pull a portion aside, or perhaps grill a turkey cutlet for you. So making those kinds of modifications. Next slide. If you link into mashed potatoes, which was on the previous screen, it actually gives you additional nutrition information. So if you are diabetic, for example, and you need to know carb counts, that information is there. If you need to watch your fat or your sodium, we have that information as well. And then we do have an ingredient list and an allergen statement. So if you are looking at the online menus with a food allergy to milk, you can see that the mashed potatoes do contain milk as an ingredient, and you could order a russet potato. We could do a baked potato for you because we have them in-house, we have them in inventory. We're going to be preparing them for that day. And so that's how we could accommodate you with the potato. We would cook that in a separate oven, foil lined pan to make sure there's no cross contact, and have that ready for you when you arrive. All right, next slide. This is a sample of the gluten solution menu. So typically, as I said, I list the True Balance menu at the top. This is a dinner, so that students don't have to go back and forth looking at the online menu and then looking at their other selections. So you can see some of the nice selections we have for True Balance for dinner this particular week. And then the custom meal selections are listed below. A lot of these selections are taken from the main menu. So if we're doing a pork loin on Tuesday, I would put the pork cutlet on Tuesday dinner for the students who need gluten solutions. There's a cheese pizza, we have Caesar salad, omelets, macaroni and cheese, a lot of nice variety that we can offer. And again, picking from the regular menu so that the meals are looking very similar to what the other students are eating. On that Friday, there's a chicken cheesesteak. Other students are getting chicken cheesesteak. On Saturday, there's a chimichurri flank steak. Other students are eating chimichurri flank steak. So it does closely match the other menu. It's just prepared separately to avoid cross contact. Next slide, please. All right, so when you get into the dining hall, we do have nutrition cards at the serving line. So you can see at the serving lines, again, the name of the item that you're eating, a description of what it is that you're eating, along with the nutrition information. We do have icons that identify vegetarian, plant forward, which I'll talk a little bit about later, eat well, whole grains, and there's another one, cool foods, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So all of this would be available at the serving line, in addition to having it available in advance on our online menus. Okay, next, please. The True Balance nutrition cards look a little bit different. We do just put the calories on there and the name and the description, and then we do list all of the ingredients that are contained within that particular recipe right at the station. Additional nutrition information is available on request, or you can find that information available online. So again, you can see this information on our website, but you can also see the ingredient information right at the serving line if you need to. Next slide, please. All right, we do have a lot of vegetarian and vegan options available. They are an integral part of our menu design and are available at every meal. So the two icons I referenced earlier, vegetarian and vegan, will be on the foods that are deemed vegetarian and vegan. So for our vegetarian items, they do not contain milk and or egg products. For the vegan, the vegetarian items do contain milk and egg products. The vegan items do not, and we also eliminate honey. And we do have milk alternatives available at every meal. The almond and soy milk is available at every meal, and we do bring in oat milk and rice milk. And this year we brought in pea milk for a particular student who wanted it. So any of those special needs you have, just let us know. We'll bring that in and have that stocked for you at whatever dining hall you're eating at. Okay, next slide. So the safest ways to eat in the dining hall is going to be to make selections from the True Balance menu, if that menu encompasses all of your food allergies and restrictions, or to order a custom meal. Regular recipes that are prepared in the kitchen may come into contact with common food allergies during preparation. So the roast turkey dinner that was referenced, the mashed potatoes would be gluten-free, the turkey would be gluten-free, but there was a gravy there, and the gravy is made with flour. So there would be a potential of cross-contact with the gravy with gluten at that particular serving line. And so the purpose of doing the custom meals is to pull those foods aside and again, make them separately to avoid the cross contact. Within the allergen and ingredient statements, if a manufacturer has a may contain or processed in statement in their statements, they will show up on our ingredient listing. but they do not drop to the bottom of the ingredient statement. So you kind of have to scan through, and it may be contained within the body of the ingredient statement. So that's really important to remember, to kind of scan through to see if you can pick up any processed in a facility with peanuts or tree nuts, et cetera. And then again, please make sure you contact me, not only to get the gluten solution menus, but I have an allergen solution and custom meal request procedure packet and a gluten solution and custom meal request procedure packet that contains a lot of additional information that you can read through and we can review and discuss. Okay, next slide. All right, so we just started an Allergen Captain program this past fall. It was very successful. What the program does is it provides managers with a really robust training program and resources regarding food allergies. It also provides ongoing training, education, and updates during regularly scheduled Allergen Captain meetings. It also includes an education for frontline associates on food allergies, intolerances, and cross-contact. So every shift we have an Allergen Captain on duty, and they wear these purple hats, so they're easy to identify in the dining halls, and a lot of students have been using them as resources. Any questions regarding food preparations, ingredients during a meal can be referred to an Allergen Captain, and they should be able to assist you with any questions you have, on the spot. If you can't find someone in a purple hat, majority of our managers have been trained, so even if they're not wearing their purple cap that night, they should be able to help you out with any questions that you have. Okay, next slide. All right, so we do have a kosher station at Caesar Ronnie Dining Hall. We do religious accommodations as well as dietary restrictions for medical reasons. This particular station, however, can help students with food allergies and intolerances just by the nature of the dietary laws. So we are OU certified and managed by an on-site mashgiach. So there is strict oversight of this particular station. We do have a meat and dairy kitchen, and so by Jewish dietary law, there is no shellfish. So anyone with a shellfish allergy could eat safely at this station, both meat and dairy. There is no pork at this station, and we have decided as a department to eliminate peanuts and tree nuts at this station. So this is another go-to station for students with peanuts and tree nut allergies, where they have not been brought into that station since the opening of the building. The meat kitchen, which is open Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and then Peru vegetarian served on Wednesday, has absolutely no dairy at that station. So if there is a dairy allergy, students can eat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at the meat kitchen and be assured there's no dairy. As well, we don't serve any fish out of the meat kitchen. And then the dairy kitchen, which is open Sunday and Friday, if there is no meat there, and so anyone who's strict vegetarian would be able to eat in that station as well. So next slide, please. So this is something new that's happening this spring semester. We just had our little sampling and kickoff last week for people to be able to visit and sample the halal station. So this is going to be at Pincater Dining Hall. And some of the things about the stations, we're only going to be using halal certified meats. There will be no pork or pork products at this station. There will be no alcohol or foods prepared with alcohol at this station. Enzymes and food additives derived from animal or alcohol will be eliminated. And then we're going to have dedicated smallware, storage containers, carts, and station equipment to ensure that all of the foods we're serving at this station are halal. So again, that should help to meet some dietary needs of students with specific religious guidelines that they're following. Next slide. So we do have our pod markets, which are like our little mini markets on campus. They do carry a variety of food items that are gluten-free, allergen-free, and kosher. As well, we have 2 food courts on campus. With the food courts, students are ordering through a Grubhub app. And the Grubhub app does allow students to indicate if they have a food allergy or an intolerance, so their meals can be prepared to avoid any kind of diet allergens or food restrictions from the food course. So that opens up a lot of other opportunities for students to get a nice variety of foods from their meal plan. Next slide. Right, so Plant Forward is a program that we started several years ago, and this is a style of cooking and eating that emphasizes healthy plants at the center of the plate, focuses on vegetables, whole grains, legumes, fruits, and reducing the amount of meat. So it is not necessarily vegetarian. So if you do see this symbol and you're vegetarian, again, it does not necessarily mean that this food is vegetarian. It's just may have less meat, may be vegetarian, but may just have less meat in it. But this is a good way to increase your healthier eating habits by focusing on some of our plant forward food options, which are very good. Next slide. So this is new this spring as well. It is called Cool Food Meals, and our cool foods will be identified by this particular icon. These foods have a lower carbon footprint than the average North American meal. We have had our recipes analyzed and approved by the World Resource Institute so that we know that there is some advantage to eating these foods as far as carbon footprint is concerned. And the meals also need to meet some approved nutritional safeguard ratings to ensure that there's some good nourishment as we're serving these foods. So this is going to offer a simple, delicious, nutritious way to help the planet and get some healthy meal options. Next slide, please. All right, so this is where we ask questions. If you have any questions, my contact information again, my email address, my office number, kind of why to contact me. You're going to receive additional detailed information to dining safely on campus. As I mentioned several times, we have the gluten solution menu that can be sent out to you, and we can make individual arrangements for any additional dietary needs that you may have beyond the top 9 allergens, or if there's any other kinds of things that you need, I can help you out with. Okay, thank you for joining us tonight. If you have any questions. Good.
Yeah, not seeing any questions, Debbie. So
All righty.
good.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank you all for presenting for us today, and thank you, audience, for joining us. We encourage you to check out the calendar of upcoming live NSO sessions in our Canvas course or the Blue Hen Family Hub. If you have any questions about virtual NSO, be sure to contact us at otp@udel.edu. That's otp@udel.edu. Thank you all and have a wonderful day.